Hello students, today we are going to start the unit 2 of your science age, that is materials. And in this unit 2, the chapter is number 3rd, that is synthetic fibers and plastics. Now students, you all know that it's very essential that we humans need clothes. This is the cloth that I'm wearing, and this cloth consists of fiber. And this fiber can be obtained from various resources. They can be natural fibers, they can be synthetic fibers. So we'll be discussing about them. And you know, in the previous classes we have discussed about this natural fibers, that is your cotton, wool, jute. We have discussed about this, and in this class we'll be discussing about the synthetic fibers. So we'll be discussing the polymers, which are higher molecular mass compounds, that is poly means many and mer means molecules. So many molecules, many small molecules called monomers join together to form a big molecule called the polymer, and this process of formation is called polymerization. So polymers can join in a straight line or a straight chain or in a branch chain, and fibers are of two types, like it's natural fiber or man-made fiber or synthetic fiber. So we'll be discussing about this synthetic fibers, and then we'll be discussing the synthetic fiber or synthetic material, that is plastic, which is made by this man. Okay, so let's start with the heading natural fibers. So it's a previous class topic, so we will be just general idea of this topic, जिससे कि आपके पास एक general idea रहे कि भाई natural fibers क्या होते हैं. Now, you know, initially man made use of natural fibers for its food or for its clothing necessities, which are obtained from plant as well as from animal sources. The fiber obtained from the plant source are cotton and jute, and both of these fiber are made up of a polymer called cellulose. Cellulose is made in plants and by joining small units of glucose, which is manufactured by green plants by the process of photosynthesis. Now we get wool and silk from animal sources, and wool is the hair of sheep and silk is obtained from the silkworms. Okay, and both are made up of polymer called protein, and these proteins are formed by joining monomers called amino acids. Okay, so this was about this natural fibers. Now we'll be discussing the main heading of this chapter, that is synthetic fibers. After this natural fiber, we'll be starting with synthetic fibers. Okay. Now this synthetic fibers. Man-made fibers are called synthetic fibers, and these synthetic fibers are made from coal, petroleum and natural gas. You know students, there is a fact side given. This is a fiber, synthetic fiber called Nomex. Okay, Nomex is a polymer and it's a type of nylon, and that is fire resistance. Fire catch नहीं कर सकता ये कपड़ा आपका, ये this fiber, and that's why the fireproof suits are made up of Nomex. And another fiber used as heat and flame protection clothing is called kernel. Okay, so these two types of fiber are your fireproof or fire resistance or flame protection used as a fire and flame protection clothing, and that's why this kernel is used in military uniforms. Okay, so this was about a fact side given in your book. Now we'll be discussing our main topic, that is synthetic fibers. Now the synthetic fiber is made up of multiple units, each of which is a chemical substance. They are joined together to form a single unit called a polymer. Okay, and structures can be described as resembling a large number of beads on a string. Hence, this beast represents the individual units that are joined together. Now, the some examples of synthetic fiber are rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic and spandex. Now, students, पता है आपको ये synthetic fiber कैसे होते हैं? Suppose this is a string, एक thread है, और यहाँ पे एक छोटे छोटे इस पे बीड्स की जैसे कुछ कनेक्टेड होंगे. ये सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ सिंथेटिक फाइबर बना रही हूँ मैं आपके लिए. इससे सिंपल इन्हें कहते हैं हम स्ट्रेट चेन्ड पॉलीमर्स. एवरी सिंथेटिक फाइबर इज अ पॉलीमर. ओके, नो वन इज अ मोनोमर. मोनोमर्स क्या होते हैं? सिंगल यूनिट होते हैं या इंडिविजुअल यूनिट्स होते हैं. सो आई विल बी टेलिंग यू व्हाट इज मोनोमर in this synthetic fiber description. So student, this single unit is your monomer, and this all unit combined together is called your polymer. Okay, so single unit is mono means one, mer means this unit. So mono means one unit, poly means many units. So this is the simple resemblance of your synthetic fiber. Now we will be discussing the types of synthetic fiber. Okay, so we will be discussing the types of synthetic fiber. So let me write down types of synthetic fibers. First type is rayon. Okay, now rayon, you know, silk is the fiber with a velvety touch and a shiny look. It was first made in China, but it is quite expensive, so people wanted a cheap alternative which could be made artificially. So the scientists studied about the composition of silk and tried to recreate it in the lab. At last they succeeded in making a fiber which is, ये जो rayon बच्चा है ये similar होगा silk की जैसे, because at last they were successful और उन्होंने rayon create किया which is similar to the characteristic of silk. Okay, now you know that's why हम rayon को artificial silk भी कहते हैं. Okay, and it is prepared from the cellulose sourced from the wood pulp or cotton. Wood pulp या cotton से हम इसे उसके जो cellulose होते हैं उनसे बनाते हैं rayon material. Now we'll be discussing the properties of rayon. The properties of rayon are ये shiny होता है, that is वो shine करता है, and it resembles silk in appearance. Second, it absorbs sweat. So rayon cloths are preferred in summer over other synthetic fibers. Okay students, now rayon. Uses of rayon is used to make shirts, ties, home furnishing, that is bed sheets, curtains, tablecloths, sofa covers, you know, etc. and bandages also. There's a fact site given students. The fact site is many people prefer to describe rayon as semi-synthetic fiber as it is synthesized from cellulose which is obtained from plants. Okay. So there's a close-up pictures of different rayon fabric given in your books. Okay. So you can see that how this rayon fabric look like. And you can ask your mother to see कि भाई आप आपकी मामा से पूछ सकते हैं मम्मा कोई rayon का कपड़ा दिखाइए हमें, and you can touch and feel how the texture is of this cloth rayon is. Now the next type of synthetic fiber is your nylon. You know students, this nylon is also a polymer and it is made up from two monomers. Two monomers मतलब two units. So the name of this monomers which is from nylon is made is hexamethylene diamine. What is the name of one is hexamethylene diamine along with adipic acid. Okay, So these are the two. Okay, these are the two monomers from which nylon is created. That is adipic acid and the hexamethylene diamine. Now, nylon was the first true synthetic fiber. But rayon to semi-synthetic fiber ho gaya na, because it is made from plant-based. But this nylon was the truest synthetic fiber. It was made from air, water and coal. It was first produced in the early 1930s by the scientists at the DuPont company. Nylon stockings was first introduced in the year 1940. Okay, now we'll be discussing the properties of this nylon. It is lustrous. That is, lustrous means ये shiny होता है, shimmer करता है, and it is easy to wash. Second, it is elastic and do not lose its strength even after a repeated use. Now, uses of nylon. Nylon is used for making saris, socks or stockings, tents, umbrellas, parachutes and tarpaulins. So students, see, this nylon has so much uses attached to it, and different types of wear में ये use होते हैं. It's fiber, you know, not only it's used for making this clothes and this materials, but it's also used, you know, its fiber are used for making toothbrush. आपकी जो toothbrushes होते हैं उनके जो bristles होते हैं, that are made from nylon only. As they have this high strength and elasticity, nylon threads are used to making fishing nets, climbing ropes, strings of badminton and tennis rackets. Okay, so you can see the image given in your book of the some things which are made from nylon. That is a rope, umbrella and your strings of your tennis racket. There is a fact site also given. The fact site is the first mass-produced consumer product using nylon was toothbrush bristles and was produced around the year 1938. Okay. So next type of synthetic fiber that we are going to discuss is polyester. Okay. So next type of synthetic fiber is polyester. Polyester is made by joining many units of ester. Okay. Now the PET, or we can say PET, is a type of polyester, and the full form of this PET is polyethylene terephthalate. Okay, and it is made from two monomers, that is terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol, by the process called condensation polymerization. Okay, we will be discussing about this condensation polymerization in higher classes. Okay, so it is used, and where it is used in making beverages, bottle, food and other liquid containers, and it is a popular packing material for food and non-food products. Here, students, the first PET bottle was first made in 1973 by Nathaniel Wyeth. Okay, now polyester has many different types. Okay, most commonly used polyester is styrene or Dacron, and is blended with this natural fibers to improve its property. Terracotta, you know, terracotta is a blend of terylene and cotton and has a better absorbing capacity as compared to terylene. Okay, now terylene is, when it is blended with wool, it's called terry wool, and which is warm and has all the characteristics observed in polyesters also. Now we'll be discussing the properties of polyester. It is strong, it is lightweight material and it has very good elasticity. That is what elastic hota hai in nature. Okay. Next properties, it resists wrinkling and reverts back into the shape when creased. What is means of this wrinkling? आप कभी कोई कपड़ा लीजिए and just use that and just उसे पूरा तरह से fold कर लीजिए, और उसे अगर आप वापस बुक उस पे कोई wrinkle नहीं आया, कोई सल नहीं आए, so that means it is wrinkle free. So the polyester is wrinkle free material. Next is polyester fibers can be washed and dried easily and quickly. Now Polyester is used to make lightweight sails which are used in boats. Polyester films known as mylar are used for making magnetic tapes in audio cassettes, okay, video cassettes and floppy disk. Terraline is used to make your conveyor belt as it is very elastic in nature. And this terracotta is used to make shirts, skirts and other dress material. And terry wool is also used to make this formal suits. आपके men's के जो formal suits होते हैं उसमें भी इस terry wool is used. Now the next type of synthetic fiber we'll be studying is acrylic. Acrylic. 1 minute, sorry. Acrylic. Okay. Now we'll be studying about this acrylic fiber, and it's also known as Orlon or acrylene. Closely resembles wool. Acrylene जो होता है वो closely आपके wool के nature के और wool की properties के साथ resemble करता है. So we'll be discussing the properties of acrylic is it is warm, soft and light and flexible. Warm होता है, that's why it resembles to the wool. Okay? So अब ये कह सकते हैं कि synthetic fiber का wool है. ठीक है? Now it is resistant to moths and chemicals also. Acrylic fibers are used to make sweaters, socks, shawls, carpets and blankets. Now this was about the types of synthetic fiber. Now we will be discussing the advantages of your synthetic fiber. Let me rub this, then we'll be discussing the advantages of your synthetic fiber. Okay, so let's start with the advantages. Put it down. Advantages. Now the first advantages of synthetic fiber is most fabric made up of synthetic fiber do not wrinkle easily. ये wrinkle free होते हैं बच्चा. मैंने आपको अभी बताया इन पे सल नहीं पड़ते. इनके जो clothes होते हैं उन पे easily आपके wrinkles नहीं पड़ते. Next, this synthetic fibers they have good elasticity. That is वो elastic होते हैं nature में. उनकी elasticity बहुत अच्छी होती है. Next is most synthetic fiber can handle heavy loads without breaking. Load बहुत easily वो लोग अपने ऊपर consume कर सकते हैं. Last is fabrics made up of synthetic fiber are generally more durable, less expensive and more readily available than those made up of natural fiber. Okay students, so these are the advantages of your synthetic fiber. Now we'll be discussing an activity which is given in your book to compare the strength of different fibers. अब आपको क्या लेना है बच्चा? एक weight box लीजिए with different weights 1 to 10 grams के. Okay, now iron stand लीजिए with clamp and hook or a pan, thin threads of nylon, wool, cotton, silk of same length and almost same thickness. So आप कुछ threads लीजिए of different types of fiber made up of different types of fiber. Now what you will be doing, take one end of any one thread, tie it to a hook and other end to a clamp. Put a weight on the hook or a pen and see and keep on increasing that weight. And at what point that string breaks, note down that weight. Repeat this with different type of thread made up of different type of fabric. So you will come to know that which type of fiber can have more capacity to withstand more weight or which has more strength attached to it. So you know students, the thread that breaks at the maximum weight is the strongest, and it is mostly if you have this nylon, that the nylon will be the strongest synthetic fiber or the strongest fiber. Now we'll be discussing the disadvantages of synthetic fiber. Let me rub this and let me write down. Disadvantages. Okay. Now students, if we're discussing disadvantages, So the disadvantages of the synthetic fibers are as follows. The most fibers made from synthetic fibers require very careful ironing as they melt very easily. अब इनको आयरन बहुत संभल के करना पड़ता है because ये बहुत जल्दी मेल्ट हो सकते हैं या जल सकते हैं. Okay? Now, most fabrics which are made from the synthetic fiber absorb very little moisture and so become sticky when the body sweats, and they became uncomfortable to wear in hot seasons. Students, that's why आपके summers में आप जब भी इस तरह के clothes पहनते हैं तो इनमें जो moisture absorbing capacity तो होती ही नहीं है, so they become sticky to your body. इसलिए पॉलिएस्टर बोलते हैं मोस्टली कि आप समर्स में अवॉइड कीजिए. Now, next is most fabric made from synthetic fiber can catch fire very easily. Therefore, it is advised to not wear them near a source of fire or while working in the kitchen. So, these are some disadvantages of your synthetic fiber. Okay. Now, students, we will be discussing an activity which is given in your book related to this water absorbing capacity of fabrics from natural and synthetic fiber. So you'll be requiring one simple thing. You'll be taking some cloths which are made from natural fiber and some cloths which are made from synthetic fiber. Now, where you can collect this types of clothes, you can just go to a tailor and ask them to collect this type of clothes from there. Now, what do? Soak one type of cloth piece in a water and different type of clothes in different type of water. After 5 minutes, take out the cloth and observe the level of water which is left behind in the beaker or mug. So you will be amazed to know that more water is left in the beaker in which suppose there is a synthetic fiber. Suppose the synthetic fiber is nylon. And suppose the natural fiber you are using is cotton. So cotton will be absorbing more water than the nylon. So this is the activity which shows what is the water absorbing capacity of the natural and synthetic fiber. That is of cotton and your nylon. So this completes our topic synthetic fibers.